ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
We got a call about lewd behavior on the boardwalk, and you the only thing I see around here that could qualify.
How is this?
lewd.
I'm not a lewd at all. I don't even know what... Lube or lewd?
Oh, that's nice.
The Beezer.
I woke up yesterday morning with a spring in my step.
Start later, please.
I could never know what the day was.
Fast forward, Ed.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper, gang. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang. Yes. Boy, that is good news.
It is the 6th day of December, 2024. Good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. My name is Chris Hockey, and here we are on a Friday. Mike Madonna, believe it or not, is going to be on this show today. Yeah, that's right. He'll be playing the initials game. How about that? Marty Galarnar, Mark Parrish, cast of thousands, breaking down your Vikings game, and Detroit Lions, another win from them last night. So let's get to it. I should shut up and get right to it. Here's comedy, Tom Papa. It's the Power Trip Morning Show on a Friday. Man, I'm glad to see your face. Come on in. I'm glad you're here.
As a child, if you had an inkling about a family secret and you asked the elders about it, they'd lie right to your face. Who's that man living in the garage? What man? There's a man out there who's been there for quite some time. There's no man out there. Yes, there is. Shut up. What a great time to be a parent, by the way. Could you imagine? There was a time you could just tell your kids to shut up right to their face. No long conversations, no explanations, just shut up. How much easier would that have been? Why is the sun hot? I don't know. Why don't you shut up? Even easier to be a father back then. You weren't even considered one of the parents. You just had to show up and hit everyone once in a while. My father would act like we were strangers who just broke into the TV room. Where the hell did these kids come from? Get them out of here. My mother would come and leave your father alone. He works hard. We were just playing. Well, now you're just shutting up.
I've had enough of you sour old hag.
The finish line is waiting.
Abigail.
Peace on your side. You hear the distant thunder. There's lightning in your stride.
Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show. It is finally Friday. Big day on the Power Trip Morning Show. Mike Madonna going to be on the show later today, right? A living legend, Mike Madonna. But a living legend is here today as well. John Kriesel. Hi, John.
Good morning.
Good morning. John, that's
Look at
Paul.
you, business owner.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding. Look at you.
Exciting stuff.
Wheeling and dealing, acquiring companies.
Was
Now
it a
Parrish
hostile
works for
takeover?
you.
No, it was very unhostile.
Okay, all right. I
Yep.
wanted to make sure. I didn't know if you stormed the bridges.
I think one of the greatest compliments of my life is Mark Parrish saying, I would love you to be a business owner with me. What just a good human being.
That's funny. I'm with him almost every week, twice.
I used to do appearances for that brand.
Never.
Yeah, how come the rest of us didn't get asked? We would have bought equity.
I'm far thirstier than you guys.
Touche.
Cory's
I'm
got
thirsty.
scratch.
I'm thirsty for money.
Yeah.
And I'm thirsty.
Right? I'll buy equity.
That's where you need to hit the drop of, bitch, you thirsty.
Yeah, I am.
forgot
That's right.
about
I don't know where it's at, but it's in there and it's right.
That's a great one.
Well, congratulations, man. That's
Thanks.
awesome. Good for you.
Exciting.
It's good.
Exciting.
I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow.
I walk a lonely road. The only road that I have ever known.
Oh, yeah?
You know?
Great point.
I walk alone.
I walk the line. Sauce, you do one.
I would walk 5,000 miles.
It's
Good
500.
one. Look at it's okay. You can go farther.
Yeah, I'd go farther.
Well, that's a lot of
Especially
miles.
for Kriesel.
Man, that's a lot of miles. That's 10,000 miles if you'd walk all the way back.
Yeah.
I would
for
do
you.
the walk of life.
Yeah.
Waka, shaka, flame.
Waka, waka, waka.
Chapel Run.
What?
I think Chapel Roan was iHeartRadio's number one listened to artist of the year. Right when I was checking out my my Wrapped on my iHeartRadio app the other day, a lot of people seem to really like Chappell
I
Roan.
gotta download that.
What, the iHeartRadio app?
Yeah.
Yeah. You really should.
I should. I heard it's expensive, though.
No.
No?
No. Not at all.
You know who loves it?
Zendaya.
Probably.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg.
Oh.
You know who else loves it?
He raps.
No.
Barry Keoghan.
Oh. Neat.
So anyway, Zendaya, Barry Keoghan, and I've already forgotten the third name, walk into a bar.
Pete Buttigieg or Chappell Roan.
And Chappell Roan. They walk into a bar.
Or Adele Dazeem.
Sounds like a party.
They just left right away.
Oh.
Sayonara, suckers.
Oh, no, Can I complain about something real quick?
Oh,
Hell yeah,
boy.
you're good at it just like I am. Go.
Nobody thought to tell me that Timothy Chalamet was going to be in town.
Yeah, how
this
about
year?
that?
How come we don't get invited to this? What is going on?
If we were the number one most listened to radio show in Minnesota, we would have been.
Yeah.
I hit a deer.
Apparently, based on not getting asked for equity in Northland, we don't get invited to Timothy Chalamet movie premieres, and then we get lied to along with the public. What is going on the last 24 hours? What is happening?
Get no respect.
Bunch of disrespect around here.
Was it next door? Was he right at?
No.
It was a mall somewhere, wasn't it?
Or
But
wasn't
I mean,
it? Wasn't it the
Those Q&A things are
Huntington Bank
cool.
Stadium? Wasn't it?
No.
Well, wait, though.
It was
Wait,
at a
though.
movie theater.
Wait, though.
Oh.
Well, just ask Tina when she gets here, because we all took pay cuts to save Tina's
Well,
job.
Tina's at every one of those. And I love her. She's awesome. How does she get the invite? How come we can't get invited?
I don't
Do you
care.
want to know behind the curtain? I think like her really good friend runs the company that puts those.
Well, we want to be really good friends with Tina's friend then.
We don't
I
have
want to
any
go behind the
friends.
curtain.
I want to go to a Q&A with Chalamet and watch the
Yeah.
Bob Dylan movie.
It's horrific.
That's not what I'm
That's not good. It's not good.
I don't know Bob Dylan's story very well at all, but he's a Minnesotan. Let's learn.
You don't
I
know
was
like a
born in the same town as him.
Right.
Yeah.
And clearly Zach wants to meet Chalamet.
He and I are Eskimo brothers.
Yes.
With who?
Well,
Your dad?
thanks to my first marriage, I'm Eskimo brothers with the entire United States. So
Wow. Congratulations.
thanks.
How did you
Hundreds
not
of
know,
thousands.
Zacho?
I was angry because I was just scrolling through YouTube last night, and there's a Carol Evans story on Timothy Chalamet being in town, and I was like, what?
It's a numbers game.
Yeah, they just didn't have seats for you, Zachary.
Oh,
Not enough seats.
I wouldn't need a seat. I'd only need the edge.
Okay.
My God.
Why don't you take the rest
Well
of the
played.
segment off?
Yeah, that's another thing I'm not patient enough to do.
Zachary, you're wearing a Wild jersey.
You are. You're crazy.
Is this the equivalent of wearing a Deftones shirt to a Deftones concert?
Well, this morning I was ruffling through my clothes, trying to figure out what I was going to wear, and I'm like,
Can you describe the rough?
I go to every.
And you were like, move over,
I
Timothy.
work every Wild home game.
I'm going to get my clothes.
So
Get
I've
outta
got
here.
like 4 or 5 jerseys now, which is awesome, but I never get a chance to wear them. And I'm like, you know what?
I like it.
What a time to wear.
Have you ever crossed paths at the Xcel Energy Center with Mike Madonna?
I mean,
Cross streams?
yeah, I didn't say anything to him because we don't know each other.
But you've been in the same room.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I learned yesterday, my brother told me a story yesterday. I have 2 nephews, right? My brother has 2 adult boys. They're both great kids. The youngest one is named Daniel. And I had always heard that when they were trying to come up with the name, that they both kind of wrote down their top 10 or so boys' name, and the one that was on both lists was Daniel. So that was like the easy compromise, which was partially true. But I didn't know this until yesterday. My brother called me and he's like, I'm not really jealous that often of your stupid radio show.
Oh.
But he goes, tomorrow I am. Because he was born in 1970, so he grew up like as a teenager, basically late teenager, worshiping Mike Madonna.
Yeah.
Right? Fell in love with hockey because of Mike Madonna when he was in his late teens.
What about Rat? Because we're the same age. Was he worshiping Rat?
I don't think so.
Okay.
God, nobody.
Wasn't Madonna 88 or 89? When was he the first pick?
He was the
Somewhere
first,
in that range.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
1988.
All right, so my brother's like 18 and falls in love with Mike Madonna as a hockey player.
We don't judge.
So I didn't know this. They were dangerously close to naming my nephew Daniel Madonna. That was almost his first name. The name, Madonna.
Wow.
But your sister-in-law vetoed it?
No. They both loved it.
Really?
But Sauce, this is a little bit like Berkeley Lambert.
Yeah.
They floated it to a couple of friends and family, like, we're thinking about naming him Madonna Cove. And they were going to shorten Madonna to Dan. Because it's in the middle. That was like, I guess we could kind of get away with calling him Dan.
Cool.
But let's call him, his official legal name will be Madonna. And they floated it to a couple of people. And they're like, oh, you can't name a kid Madonna. That's insane. So they heard so many people say no that they changed their mind and just, let's just call him Daniel.
Right.
So Daniel grew up with number 9 when he played hockey. Sure. He's named after Mike Madonna, but they almost literally named him Madonna.
That happened to us with Chloe. We were so close to naming her Osama.
Family name?
But you floated it to too many family members, and they said you can't do that.
Yeah.
You could have shortened it to Sam.
Yeah, we could have.
And then just you would all know on the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Sauce, you've told a handful of people what your son's name is, right?
Yeah.
A handful of people know.
I don't know, and I don't want to know.
Oh, it's awesome. It's going to be great. But I would have said the exact same thing if you had told me his name was going to be Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing is once the kid is born, that's the kid's name.
Yeah.
Right? If you would have said, this is my little boy, Berkeley Lambert, I would have gone, lovely. And then I would have gone home to Angie and said, wait until you hear this kid's name.
Yeah.
But
good luck to him.
But that's what, if my brother and sister-in-law had named Daniel Madonna, that's what you do. You just go, that is a lovely name. And then you make fun of it behind their back. You let the kid be named whatever. Anyway, I almost had a nephew named Madonna.
It's not every opportunity or any opportunity I get the opportunity to make fun of your brother.
Say opportunity
That's
one more time.
Opportunity. That's a good name for a dog, right? Like I'm not ripping your nephew, but that's like if you're like, hey, this is our golden retriever Madonna, right? That's it. I'm not ripping him, but yeah, that's a good dog name.
Sure.
Are you ripping him?
Yeah.
No. I like Cory's brother's great.
Yeah.
He's born in 1960. He's got to be.
We're talking about his nephew.
Yeah, I know. I've never met it. No, have I met? No, I don't.
I don't know if you've met Daniel.
Why? What were you into in the 70s, Hawk?
Probably not.
In the 70s?
Women.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the late 70s, I was into women. I was born in 1970, so by the time I was 9, I was horny. And
calling sex lines.
I didn't know who Mike Madonna was because I was in Indiana.
And he was 9?
Yeah, he was 9 as well.
He was 9.5.
He's at least a 9.5.
That would be super strange if you knew him at 9.
When the Selson Blue bit happened?
8, I think. 8 or 9.
That's your December 2nd.
Oh, man, let me tell you. My little fire marshal bill.
Holy smokes.
That had to hurt so bad.
Oh, well, it was more scary than anything. You know, there's nothing more lonely than having a terrible penis wound and not being able to tell anybody. Am I right, Zach?
Yeah, brother. Preach.
I'm sorry, we're talking about what now?
I'm a little surprised that wild jersey you're wearing doesn't have Madonna's name across the back. That would have been total rubedom, right? If you had just gone with a Madonna jersey.
And
can't
for,
do that.
For those at home, I'm wearing the reverse retro, the North Star color version of the wild jersey.
You gotta be careful when you're doing that because they'll slip right out of there.
Can get kinked toes.
Ow.
Yeah. I have no idea why. It's so dumb that the Wild can't be the North Stars and have that same. The Dallas Stars, completely different color scheme, different logo.
Well, that's partially why they own the.
Well, right, but you would think that they would say, "Here you go," but
yeah,
Norm Green sucks.
I think we're lucky enough to at this point to have that third jersey with this. Because I don't know. I'm pretty sure I heard somewhere that they could have vetoed that too.
Really?
I think the agreement was that it is just
temporary or occasional.
Yeah.
But dumb.
Dallas seems fun.
Yeah, they're a great organization. I love them.
Could have named that kid Berkeley.
Yeah. You know, when you start coming up with names for your kid and your wife vetoes the first name you come up with.
That was your first one?
That's the first one.
Oh, that was the first one?
Yeah.
I thought that was just the one that you settled on.
No. That was the first one I thought of.
Is it Thomas?
No.
Is it Randall?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is it the Vu?
I don't ever want this kid to get bored because I kind of love the guessing the name bit.
I think Power Trip Bets and all them did like a draft on it for like cash.
to see if anybody could guess it.
Yeah.
As unlikely as that is, right? You know how hard it is to guess
I've given a couple
Look
clues.
how hard it is to guess 2 initials.
Fair.
Yeah, I've given a couple clues, though.
Man,
What
you're like
were the clues?
Well, I'm not going to repeat them. You had to have been listening.
oh, wow. Just little subliminal messages.
Listening,
It's like
listener.
the Winter Carnival medallion search.
Yeah.
A former Viking center and the longtime morning host at Cool 108. Let's see, Matt Burke. Lee Balzick. Berkeley?
No, brilliant.
Thorn? Yeah, you put nobody else would never.
Wasn't he swearing on the air?
No.
Bradbury Brian Thomas?
No.
Patrick Kessler?
Brilliant.
Pauly?
Jordan Love Lambert.
No.
Hold on, I got another guess for you.
Go ahead.
Caller on line 1. Go ahead. Hold on.
Lexington Lambert. You know, he'd be born
Let's
with
lock
just
the
a
Lambert.
hammer.
Pete Buttigieg.
No. Pete was not in the running.
Chapel Roan.
No.
Donald.
No.
Barry
Your wife would have
Keoghan.
wanted that.
No.
Kirk
No.
Cousins.
No.
All right, whatever.
Muppet?
No. Muppy, maybe?
So you could just announce the name and it could just be the fake one. Because, again, we learned yesterday, you can just announce anything you want, even if it's inaccurate. You can just say anything you want on the internet.
Yeah, I mean,
You can just
talk about fake news.
post fake numbers and fake news. You can do whatever you want.
Is it Dave?
No. I thought about
Gargi.
that.
So big day. Mike Madonna's going to be on the show. Marnie Gellner later. Mark Parrish later. We see 2 weeks to go in the Charge Challenge. It's the nitty-gritty time of the Charge Challenge. Mr. Z's going to be on at 6:20 with his top 5 movies of 2024. That might be kind of cool because he's kind of got weird taste. We'll see what he thought about the year in film. Lots to get to between now and 9 o'clock. Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
The Fan.
Man, I hope Mike Judge makes another season of Tales from the Tour Bus someday. Just damn it, man. This Jerry Lee Lewis episode was unbelievable. It's a cartoon about rock stars. The first season actually is about country stars, and the second season is about R&B stars back in the 60s and 70s. And it's animated, but it's true stories about the crazy stuff they did. And it's some of the craziest stuff you ever heard. Just watching the highlights on YouTube by
It's
accident.
great.
It's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
You can't believe the stuff they did. George Jones he was so wasted all the time that he had a fake friend that was a duck that didn't exist that he talked to, and then he talks back to himself as the duck. And one time he got pissed at the duck and he stopped the tour, but made the guy stop the tour bus and threw the duck off the bus. And of course there was no duck. And about a half a mile later he felt bad, so he made the bus driver back all the way up and pick him back up. I mean, that's some good drugs right there.
Is that the same guy that wanted a quarter pounder?
That was Johnny Paycheck. Take
Yeah.
this job and shove it.
Yeah.
And the bus driver said, all right, I'll stop. So the tour manager walks up to the bus driver and says, Johnny wants a Big Mac. And the bus driver says, all right. So he pulls over, and it's the middle of the night. And this is, in the 70s, and they ain't no McDonald's open. So he pulls over to the diner, and the tour manager says, no, you don't understand. Johnny wants a Big Mac. This ain't a McDonald's. And the bus driver says, there ain't no McDonald's around here. This is where I stopped. If he wants to eat, he'll eat here. So the tour manager shot him.
Yeah.
And that's a true story.
Did he die?
He didn't die.
No.
No, but he did. He got sued. He didn't go to jail, but Johnny Paycheck, I mean, back then, you got away with murder, almost literally murder.
Yeah.
You got to watch this show, John.
It's
You'll love
great.
it. You can't believe it. I mean, and they're true stories.
Link,
Yeah.
please.
You can. It's
on Max.
Yeah, the best place to get them is
perfect.
on Max. And it's free on there. It's Tales from the Tour Bus. It's 2 seasons. It's animated. It's Mike Judge. He actually is the guy who did it, and actually is the narrator of the entire show. The guy from Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Great
Beavis
show.
and Butthead is taking over Comedy Central all month long. If you're actually watching Comedy Central live, right? They do like
The new ones?
No, they'll do like the 15-second kind of tag. So like if you're watching Seinfeld, maybe once an episode, they'll be there for 10 seconds and Like the other day, I saw Beavis do he pretended he was Seinfeld and he stood up and he's like, "Hey, Butthead, you ever notice?" And then Butthead kicks him in the balls. And it's so I was trying to be Jerry. It's so dumb. But even little 10-second clips, I just can't not laugh. Everything those two do make me laugh, and I hope I'm 95 years old at some point, still laughing about Beavis and Butthead and their stupid nut jokes and scoring jokes and ad jokes. It's so good, though. So good. It's almost worth watching Seinfeld episodes for the 900th time just to see 10 seconds of Beavis and Butthead. It's worth it.
Seinfeld's the best.
Tokyo is set to introduce a 4-day work week for government employees in its latest push to help working mothers boost record low fertility rates.
Oh.
What do you guys think about a 4-day work week?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be pretty awesome.
Well, how about, was it the Star Tribune a day or two ago? It was talking about how there's more schools now, or at least another school or two, that is going to 4-day school weeks across the state of Minnesota.
No kidding.
And, the pros and cons of only doing 4 days.
So are then the regular days that they're attending class longer?
Don't know. I don't read stories that are behind a firewall.
Yeah, I hate that.
Fair point.
So as soon as it says you got to sign in, I say, I'm not paying for this.
That's an expensive firewall, too.
Is that right?
I used to pay for it, and now I'm like, no thanks.
The funny part is Hawk pays for it. He just doesn't remember what login he used.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to use the Apple passwords, man.
Yeah, I do
That's
now.
a lifesaver.
Yeah, I do now. Yeah. I do. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the internet got us used to, for 20-something years, never paying for news articles. And now in the last, 10-ish or so years, everybody's like, God, no, you got to sign up and pay. Sign up and pay?
Yeah.
Who do you think you are?
What?
I am.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't have to.
This show is still free.
Yeah.
Who do you think
For
I am?
now?
Yeah.
You never know.
Pennsylvania.
You never know.
I don't know if the store's been updated. I should probably look, but I meant to get to it yesterday. I never did. Pennsylvania State Police are providing an update on the efforts to find a woman who is believed to have fallen into a sinkhole.
Jesus.
Officials believe 64-year-old Elizabeth Pollard, I don't know why I said it like that, may have fallen into the sinkhole, which is connected to an old mine on Monday while she was searching for her lost cat.
Oh, man.
I've been searching.
Here, kitty.
You're searching for your lost cat and you fall in a sinkhole. You know what I mean? State police on Wednesday morning said they will likely have to switch gears in their efforts to find her, as water, which is being pushed through the mine to help break down materials to allow better access to the hole, is now causing the mine to be distressed. I don't think they've found her yet. Come on. They found her shoe.
Yeah.
What an awful way to go.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah,
and you have no idea. All of a sudden, you're just getting swallowed by the earth.
Yeah.
And by the time your brain realizes what's happening, it's probably already over.
Probably over.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my...
Careful.
This is ridiculous, and I know it's ridiculous. I can't even imagine a scenario that doesn't involve, the Scooby-Doo. But one of my greatest fears is being buried alive.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine waking up in a coffin.
That's terrible.
I can't even think about it. It must have happened to me in a previous life.
Especially
It scares me.
since you've told everybody not to go looking for you.
Yeah.
That's true. Gosh darn it. Saucy, please.
Yeah, please.
Saved by the Bell, right?
Yeah.
You got to be saved by the bell.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where it came from.
Oh, yeah.
That every time you say that, I think I bring this up, but I just will never forget seeing Kill Bill for the first time in theaters, and that scene where she's buried.
Oh, I know.
And the whole theater is completely dark because you're in the casket with her. You're in the coffin with her. And you can hear the dirt hitting the coffin or whatever. And then you can hear them driving away. Oh, man. That was what a weird 90 seconds of just awkwardness. Just Tarantino just being a freaking genius.
Oh. Yeah.
Chris, you seen that movie or not? Kill Bill?
Parts of it,
Oh,
but
man.
no, I haven't seen the whole. That was one that many of the fellow platoon mates would be watching, so I caught so many different parts.
Sure.
And every bit of it that I saw was awesome.
It's
I
so
just
good.
need to sit, and I love Tarantino.
Oh, man.
So I do need to sit
The
and
two
just...
combined for, what is it, 4.5 or 4, Chris, or something like that? But
Yeah. 4.5, I think, is right.
it's so good.
So the second one's good, too?
Well, again,
yeah.
it is one movie.
one
They just
movie,
split
yeah.
it. He had to split it into two.
Yeah.
Because it's...
The studio wanted it
So
because it's too
long,
long. So I always look at it as one movie, but it technically was released as two.
Word.
Word.
But they do have very different feels, which is the weirdest thing. Like he said, as soon as the studio said we got to cut this in two, he said he knew exactly where he was going to cut it, and you couldn't have cut it at a better time. It's like the perfect cliffhanger, and the two movies have very different tones, which is strange for a movie that was filmed as one.
Right.
To be that different, but they were.
It's wild.
Hey,
Genius.
You know, we always hear people saying, man, we get so used to things that they ain't no big deal anymore. They just go by. Here's like a real example of that. Did you guys know there was a school shooting 2 days ago?
No.
In Oroville, California, a man opened fire and seriously injured 2 kindergartners at a religious school in California.
Did not even hear about that. How did I miss that?
I don't know. Turned the gun on himself, had a long history of mental illness. Shooting happened Wednesday afternoon. 56-year-old dude.
So he's gone, though?
Yeah, he gone.
Okay, good.
Yeah, which is good. But how does that happen? Right. And it's so commonplace that it's not even the top story.
It's insane.
It might be this dumb, and this is dumb.
Yeah.
You said a couple of kindergartners were injured, but not killed.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
a guy opens fire at a kindergarten, but because nobody died, it's like, well, it's not worth mentioning.
Yeah.
Just a school shooting at a kindergarten, no big deal.
No big deal.
But we can move on because there's so many of them that if there isn't a body count, then
I had heard about it, but that's because I'm a nerd and I watched the NBC nightly news.
I watched the 4, 5, 5:30, and then usually 6, just in case something changed.
You never know.
I do too. But this week, I've been busy and thankfully missed that because I'd rather not know about something like that.
But it looked like you were watching Wheel last night because I texted you and you were just as mad as I was.
It's just...
How many times are you already guessed S, you idiot. Pay attention. There's thousands of dollars on the line.
And
God, idiots.
We've all been told that behind the scenes, there is a wall that shows what's been guessed.
What?
So they know.
Oh, I didn't know that, really?
Yeah, they can look up at the wall and see what numbers or letters have already been called.
Right. I didn't know that.
And they still make the
and there's
same
a guy
gal.
with like he's on they call him a hangman, I guess. And
okay,
it's
she guessed S twice and H twice, right?
No.
And Ryan was already called again.
Yeah.
You could even hear it in his voice. His disappointment, and I just threw my hands up. I'm like, I got to text Kriesel. I know he's watching. This is preposterous. I go, these people don't deserve any money. They're idiots.
Yeah.
I hate when I don't want to cheer for at least one of them on the wheel. But last night, I'm like, can all three of these people lose?
Did you know a bonus puzzle? Did you get that one?
100%.
Okay, I didn't. My wife had it immediately, but I didn't yesterday. And once it was said, then it was fairly easy because they are easier now. And the rate at which people guess them is probably worse than with the old one, the difficult ones.
I thought it was thank you before before the letters got put in, and then when the third letter was a G, then I got think big in my head. But I did have thank you locked and loaded.
Me too.
Did you at one point think thing big?
Yeah.
I think Seacrest did. So it sounds like you watched Wheel the other day because you said
we did.
Seacrest is just okay as well.
He's just fine.
He's fine.
Which is what we need. It's about the game.
Yeah. And if you hire Seacrest, that's exactly what you want. Is he's not going to step on any toes. He's not going to change the world. He's not going to be controversial. He's just going to be professional.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly what he is.
With the situation last week, that $6,000 swing and miss, the guy solved it before guessing. Sajak would have never let that happen, though. He would have said, you can guess a letter.
Right.
When the guy said, I'd like to solve.
Yep.
And then cost him the game by 175.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, Zachary?
I just want to say, I think some congratulations are in order to Ryan Seacrest, the most listened to podcast on the iHeartRadio.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that posted on social media yesterday. Big day for Ryan.
Yeah.
Good for him. Front Page Sports is next. Power Trip Morning Show fan.
Come hang with the Power Trips Meat Sauce at Malone's next Tuesday at 6:30 for Coors Light Hockey Night. Watch Minnesota Wild take on the Utah Hockey Club and play while playing hockey trivia for your shot at sweet tickets to the January 9th game against Colorado. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Saucy at Malone's on Tuesday. Saucy sausage.
Great spot.
Waffle
Great
fries.
Spot. Yeah. Yeah, the best. I can't wait.
Marnie Gellner in about an hour or so. Mark Parrish in a little bit. Mike Madonna in a little bit as well, which is super cool.
Yeah, that'll be great, man.
Saz, you ever met him or not?
No, I've not. Nope.
This is when Rick James's band met Prince for the first time.
Yeah, that's so good.
I got to stop it in time because I don't want another F word to hit. This is, I think, his bass player, Rick James's bass player, the first time Prince walks into a party.
I'm thinking the cat's got to be like 5'9", maybe 6 foot tall. And this little bitty son of a bitch walks in there and says, God damn, he's tiny.
This is from that same...
Tales from the Tour Bus, yeah. The second season is R&B.
What is he listed at? Is he like 5'4" or 5'5" or something?
I think I'm taller than him when my prosthetics are off.
Let's see if the internet
like
knows.
Altuve could dunk on him.
This is 5'2".
Did he ever
5'2"? Yeah, that's what it says.
Did he ever come like into this building for anything?
You know, I don't think so. I know I would definitely have known if he'd come in here.
Yeah.
The Chappelle Show Rick James stories are the absolute greatest. And Charlie Murphy, the way he explains it in the delivery is
so good.
So good.
Yeah.
It says he was at iHeart Minneapolis once for the fishing opener. Apparently he did Fan Outdoors on a Thursday night.
Yeah, he was a big...
He was Prince, Tackle Terry Tooman, the Captain Billy Hildebrand.
Wow.
Number one most listened to show of the year.
It was the number one station of the entire year that year in the Twin Cities.
Man.
Just check social.
How far have we fallen?
Those numbers were flawed. My minutes listened to this station, impossible, because it basically was like I listened to this station for like 1 hour a day, which is, I have it on the entire day at work through iHeart, all day, every day. So, yeah, those numbers are janksed.
Yeah, imagine that.
Right.
No.
Time now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday Station Stores. There's a monster deal going on right now at Holiday Station Stores. You buy 2, you get 1 monster for free. So mix and match any flavors you want. Like this, I get this purple one all the time. Like this one I'm holding right here. I got this at Holiday like 2 days ago. But anyway, that's the one I like. I like the white one. I like the purple one. I like the green one. But you can get whatever you want. Mix and match any flavors you want. 16-ounce monsters. Buy 2, get 1 free for a limited time. Only at Holiday.
Oof, man.
You guys watch any of the game last night?
Every bit of it.
I watched a lot of it and fell asleep.
Look, I know Dan Campbell likes to gamble.
Yeah.
Right? Dan Campbell, isn't that what Common calls him?
I think so.
And maybe other Lions fans. Did anybody stay up for the end of the game? Did you see the final?
I've got the audio of it if you'd like.
It's almost like Dan Campbell watched the Vikings game.
Yeah.
Remember how we broke down last week that when the Cardinals kicked the field goal against the Vikings to go up 6, Greg Olson on TV brilliantly laid out why that's kind of a terrible strategy, that the Cardinals should have gone for it to try to bury the Vikings, not give us a chance to go for it on all 4 downs, where we're forced to go for the win, not settle for a tie, which is what the Vikings probably would have done on 4th and 7 instead of giving it to Jefferson and continuing the drive and eventually scoring with Aaron Jones. They probably would have settled for a game-tying field goal, right? But instead, the Cardinals forced us into going for it, and they come back and lose. The Cardinals lose. Last night, the Lions, if you saw it, were 4th in inches, maybe a yard at the most. Yeah. And in field goal range with about a minute to go?
Yep.
40, 50, maybe 50 seconds ago? I forget exactly how many seconds were left.
You want to hear the audio?
Sure.
So for the moment, they are leaving the offense out on the field. Ain't this fascinating? If nothing else, draw them offside, yeah.
Nope.
They are going. And then Goff falls down, but Montgomery is able to pick up the first down. So Goff falls down as he's making the handoff, and this should seal it. They'll run the clock down, pick the field goal. What a call! So it comes down to this. Bates is no stranger to winning games at the end. Ball game.
So almost a disaster because the play gets called as a handoff and Jared Goff gets stepped on and almost trips and falls, and then the whole thing would have been a disaster, and maybe Campbell gets ripped. But again, I hate being results oriented because he did the right thing. If you get that first down, then you run the clock all the way down to essentially 0, and then your field goal attempt is either the winner or they cannot respond.
Yep.
You're going to overtime. if you kick the field goal, you give Jordan Love 45 seconds and a chance to tie, or you could still lose. And this is 100% the right call, and I think it works on a couple of levels, and one of them is the one that Al Michaels just alluded to, when Al just goes, well, they're probably just trying to draw him off sides. Think of how on edge the Packers defenders are, because they have to go, well, I can't jump. They're trying to get me to jump.
They're on their heels.
So they're on their heels. So all you have to do is make it feel for a couple of seconds like you're just trying to draw them off, and then you surprise them with a quick handoff. You get the first down, and the game is going to be over. It's the best call. I can see why they're falling in love with Dan Campbell. That kind of aggressiveness is the best.
But so what I appreciate now, not as a Vikings fan, because we don't want the Lions to be this good. Although it is nice having a good division. Iron sharpens iron. Prepare this team for the playoffs. There have been many moments throughout the season where Dan Campbell has been aggressive and then not aggressive when he should have been. Yesterday was a little more consistent, because if you're going to go for it on fourth down deep in your own territory, which I didn't agree with that one.
Which one was that?
Early in the very early in the game, I believe it was.
When they gave the Packers the ball at like the 30.
Yeah.
The only fourth down they didn't make. They were 4 for 5.
So maybe that wasn't that early in the game. I forget. It all kind of blends together. It was in the first half, though. I didn't like that. I thought that was too aggressive in a game that is looking to be quite tight. But if they get that, of course, so I like it, just deep in the territory, not. But there have been times, like I said, through the season where he's been crazy aggressive when I don't think he should have been. Yeah. And then there's a time where he should have been aggressive, like at the end of the game last night, and then he's went with a field goal or something. So it's been kind of weird, where now he's at least more consistent. He's figuring it out.
And to his credit, the analytics, the numbers say kick the field goal.
Did they? Right there?
It's very slim, but it was 83% to kick the field goal. That's your win percentage if you kick the field goal. 80% if you go for it. Obviously, punting not an option here. So he went against technically the math here. It's obviously very slim margins, but
so there does have to be some feel to it, though. Yeah. It can't just all be numbers. No, obviously, if the numbers greatly say you got to go for it, then you got to go for it. But in the Cardinals game, I think they probably would have went for it if they had more success inside the red zone. But the Vikings held them to a ton of field goals, and I think that's why they're like, we just need points here. We have to get points. That's why they kicked it.
Right, and we've been saying this for the last handful of years as game theory and analytics have been a bigger and bigger part of sports. You can't just be a robot, right? And if it is a 3% difference, that is where a manager or a coach has to have a feel for the game.
Right.
The robotic baseball managers is what everybody hates now about baseball. Is like, well, yeah, sure, you're supposed to pull him after X amount of pitches, but this guy's wheeling and dealing. Like, are you sure he can't go another inning? We're not asking him to go 4 more, but 1 more? Like, that drives baseball fans nuts.
Yeah.
These are the exact ones where you got to go on the gut, where it's not an 83% one way, 43% the other way. It's a 3% difference. Then you got to feel it out and say, what can my team do? What are the pros and cons? How's my defense playing? How's my offense playing? Can we catch them off guard? Where are we going to target? What side of the line are we going to target? That's where a 3% difference absolutely has to be the coach's decision to say which one is better for my team. Zachary, your hands up.
2 things on that, too, is like, you look at as you break the numbers down, if they succeed in the field goal attempt, they have a 86% chance of winning. If they succeed in going for it, it's an 89% chance of winning. But then if they fail,
how can it not be higher than that?
Right. So that can't be factoring in the play clock or the game clock. Then,
yes, it does. Yep, 43 seconds, quarter 4. I think what they're saying is
just percentage of field goals going through. Right. Even if you get the first down, you're not guaranteed to make the field goal.
But the big thing for me
close.
Is when you look at the fail numbers. If you fail at the field goal, your winning percentage falls to 49%. But if you fail going for it, you get it's 53% still that you win. See, if it's still more than a coin flip odd that you are going to win, I think that was the right call.
Zachary, that's the most math you've done in about 15 years.
White Bear Lake High School is
I actually did some math the other day. It was
fantastic. Good for you, man.
How many people listen to everything here?
Additionally,
no wonder those numbers came out like that.
I think in the numbers don't factor in the fact that that was a perfect spot to go for it because, like you said, Corey, they had to factor in, Green Bay had to factor in that they might end up just trying to draw them off sides.
Yep.
This might be one of those deals. So they have to sit back. That offensive line is going to win every time regardless, but especially then. So it was brilliant.
So they kick the field goal and they win at the buzzer 34-31. The Lions up to 12-1. I know a lot of us were like, well, who are we cheering for?
Yeah.
I think you had to cheer for the Packers if you truly wanted to win the division and potentially have the number 1 seed in the NFC. That didn't happen. So consolation prize, never bad when the Packers lose. If that's your consolation prize, we'll take that as well.
But the Vikings are capable of beating both of these teams.
Yeah, they beat one of them already.
And we're 1 third down conversion away from beating the other one.
Correct.
Mr. Z in a second. Mark Parrish is here. Marnie Gellner in a little bit. Mike Madonna later. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan.
The Power Hour goes live at 8 a.m. It's brought to you by it's at KFAN.com/watch. It's brought to you by Quantum Fiber.
And KDWB.
Your world only. It is the top 5 most watched stream in this building.
Fantastic.
Oh, boy.
There's a guy who watches me stream in the bathroom.
Parrish?
What's up?
Hi, Mark.
What's up, brother? Hi, guys.
What's up, business partner?
What is up,
What
brother?
are you guys going into business
Look at
together?
us.
Look at you two.
Yep.
Watching each other stream.
I went into
Yeah,
business with
absolutely.
somebody one time.
Yeah?
We don't speak anymore.
You know who loves streaming services and not the box office is Mr. Z. He'd rather,
Mr. Z.
he would rather all of us just stay home and watch Netflix and never give the box office another dollar, right? Isn't that how it works?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, well, yeah.
Yesterday,
sort of, I
Mr.
guess.
Z, yesterday you told me there's not really much coming out this week. There's a couple of things coming out next week that are worth discussing. So I tasked you with something instead. I'm like, well, if there's nothing coming out, look, a lot of people are wrapping up 2024, like on cool things like the iHeartRadio app, right? You get to see what happened in 2024. I tasked you with your top 5 films of 2024. And you said, well, I don't know. They're weird. I might have some weird ones. I go, that's even better. Great. We don't need just the 5 biggest box office films.
Yeah, not pornography this time.
Right. It's got to be stuff that was actually released in theaters. So let's go 5-1. What do you got for 2024?
Oh, all right. Well, first of all, let's say, because I just want to preface, whenever, part of what I do is having to figure out what other people are going to like. So I love when I get a chance about what I like. And I absolutely am not trying to say these are the 5 best movies, because that seems to be kind of a different than favorite. Best and favorite aren't the same when you're talking about art. So, number 5, there's a movie called Boy Kills World. That is one of the most funnest movie experiences I ever had in my life. And that is my number 5 movie of all time. I think I talked with Hawk a little bit about it one time on the air. Can't remember. Boy Kills World was so funny, so violent, so ridiculous, so clever and original that it's so fun to go to a movie in which you have no idea what's going to happen next.
Here's why I like your list already. Because, again, you said favorite, not best. This is 59% on Rotten Tomatoes and 47% on Metacritic. So the critics didn't love it, but you did. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, critics are dumb, first of all. It's like asking a 17-year-old their favorite meal. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't help me. But yeah, no, again, this is art is so personal, and it usually kind of brings stuff that you grew up with, something from your nostalgia, how old you are, what sort of culture you were brought up in, and then you get to see something that gets inside your brain, and it doesn't really matter what other people think about it at that point. So yeah, that's my number 5. It really might be number 1, but that would be too much. So.
Bill Skarsgård, who plays Pennywise, correct? He's the star.
Yeah, really good. He doesn't have any speaking lines. And in fact, one of my favorite bits from the movie is he's traumatized as a child, which isn't my favorite bit. But the very last thing he remembers is playing a video game, like a Punch-Out type game, where he goes, round 1 in this voice. So this guy from Bob's Burgers so his internal voice is a video game voice that's all spoken as if it's the guy announcing Punch-Out the whole time. It's just so weird and fun, yeah. And Skarsgård's completely jacked. You wouldn't believe how big that dude is.
Zach?
Yeah. Like he's looking at it.
All right. Boy Kills World, number 5. Number 4.
Yes. Number 4. This movie might stick with me the rest of my life. Smile 2. Might be I love horror movies. That might be the most clever, disturbing horror movie I've ever seen this year, but not ever. One of my first, certainly this year. Smile 2, geniusly done, I thought, from the horror perspective. One of the best horror movies of all time.
Better or worse than the original?
Probably better in this sense, though, because the original is better because it's clever. You know, like first time you see Sixth Sense or whatever, you know, like you're like, oh, this is really clever and fun, original and new, and you're really enjoying it. But then when you go to do a sequel, you're like, well, how are you going to do a sequel when the whole bit was the smiling bit? And then the guy just went nuts and became, as far as a movie goes, it's a better overall movie. Maybe not fun. You know, the first one is just clever.
All right. Awesome. Smile 2 is number 4. Number 3.
3, movie, I grew up in the 80s. I thought the movie that was one of the most popcorn summer movies I've seen in a long time was Twisters. Number 3, enjoyment level. And I'll take the heat, but that was my third favorite movie-going experience of the year.
Who here saw it?
I haven't seen
Parts of it.
We saw part of it.
Twisters?
I thought it was terrible.
Great movie.
It's entertaining.
It was a fun, exactly what Mr. Z said. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah.
Parrish, you saw it too?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah, it was funny, especially if you saw the original. Like there was plenty of fun little tie-ins. I think there was one time she was wearing the exact same outfit as Holly Hunter and everything was. So yeah, no.
You mean Helen Hunt?
Helen Hunt, that's it.
Holly.
Hey,
Helen Hunter, yeah.
You guys know
it's
how I am
definitely,
with a
first of all, a theater movie. It's, you know, not that everything has to be seen in the movie theater, but that's a movie that really is meant to be at a theater, to get out in a hot summer day, you sit in the air condition. And that also might be more like, if you want to, I like to talk about meals in comparison. If you're talking about your favorite meals of all time, you might talk about like a great steak place in Vegas or, you know, Italian place in Orlando. But at some point you get to that Wendy's double cheeseburger that just hit just right that one day. Yeah. And that's okay. You know, every now and then you have that, or a street taco at 11 o'clock at night that might be your favorite thing you ate that year. You know?
That, though.
Yeah, easy hard. All right, number 2.
2. Oh, I'll just throw it real quick. There's a couple movies that aren't going to be on here. Dune 2, people should say on here, maybe Saturday night. I just want to throw those out there.
Great.
And a real list that might be on there. Okay. Number 2, Deadpool, Wolverine. I mean, it's kind of boring at that point but it was so much fun. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be Deadpool, and it was, and I thought it was perfect for me.
Okay. I think a lot of you liked it, right, Tom?
Deadpool and Wolverine is one of the best films.
Yeah, great.
It's so good.
Yep. These last 2 are kind of boring because then we get to number 1, which is just Wicked. Wicked is if you like that sort of thing, as far as big, colorful, spectacular, well-done musical movies that are really meant on the big screen, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like I said, kind of boring, but Wicked, I was worried it was going to be too long. I like musicals, but I don't like them all. And there wasn't a minute during Wicked that I wished it was shorter, which is really rare for a 2-hour and 40-minute movie.
No doubt.
All right. Boy Kills World, number 5. Smile 2, number 4. Twisters, number 3. Deadpool, Wolverine 2. And the number 1 film for Mr. Z for 2024 is Wicked. Well done, Mr. Z.
There you go. Ask me a week from now, and I'll probably change my mind.
So what are the 2 movies that are coming out next week that we can talk about next week?
Next week, well, it'll be fun because Craven comes out, which has been kind of a fun punching bag for the internet from Sony, the Spider-Man anti-hero. And then the Lord of the Rings animated picture comes out next week.
Mr. Z?
And that leads into, what was that?
How is Craven supposed to do in the box office?
Right now, your best estimate is about $25 million opening weekend.
Wow.
Which would be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, who knows?
Man, it looks
what
terrible.
it'll really
It
do.
looks really bad.
We just had a 10-day period that was literally the busiest 10-day, the busiest box office Thanksgiving of all time. After everything we've been through with the lockdown and with the strikes, that we just, between Moana 2 and Wicked and even Gladiator 2, which is doing very well, those 3 movies have done more than any other movies at that period ever.
I'm still very surprised Moana 2 is doing as well as it is, because I just thought it was very average. But maybe people went maybe people just obviously, no matter what it was going to be, though, had to go see it and brought the kids to see it. That's exactly what happened in our family, but it was just a very,
Yep. It wasn't bad, but it didn't have Lin-Manuel Miranda, which, you know, it's fun to pick on him, but he's really good at writing catchy songs. The other thing is that we really see in the business what's a pent-up demand on kids' films. And when you go, as long as we did, without a really good, look what happened to Inside Out 2, which really was supposed to do good, and instead he set the record, for the largest animated box office of all time. Yeah. And then really nothing much came out until this. And so families love taking kids out to movies if you give them something worth coming out to. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Z. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
All right, guys.
All right, bye-bye. Mr. Z. Because we're going to do the Charge Challenge in the next segment with just 2 weeks to go in the Charge Challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do Wild News quickly, presented by Catalyst Supply and CatalystSupplyCo.com. Thanks, Catalyst. The Wild are at the Ducks tonight at 9 o'clock. They still have the best record in the NHL, the Minnesota Wild do, and this is the start of a 3-game road trip. They are at the Ducks tonight. They are at the Los Angeles Kings of Anaheim on Saturday, Mark Parrish, and then on Tuesday at Utah.
Oh, I can't wait to see those uniforms. I love those uniforms. Yeah, no, Minnesota Wild, the best team in the league right now. Winnipeg went on a nice little 4-game skid that they finally kind of threw a tourniquet on last night. But no, the Wild are just they're playing their game. They're playing a ton of confidence. And then the best part about it is they've just played this way the whole year. They've literally played like they've been there, done that. With that kind of confidence. Obviously, Gustafson's still playing like Gustafson's, Kaprizov's getting more and more MVP chatter as this season goes on, which is a lot of fun. It was fun being out at Cullen's USA Hockey induction ceremony this week because everybody wanted to talk Wild.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Parrish, how cool is it that, the second greatest American-born hockey player is going to be on the show in a little bit?
Very, very cool.
You said cool. Behind yourself, you said, right?
Yes.
So it's you, number one, and Madonna, number two?
And we're talking, like, miles apart, too.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird that you sent that email.
Distant.
That's how we have to refer to you.
He's going to be so pumped to meet you.
Yeah, he is.
My guess is he grew up worshiping you.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
How old were you when he came in the league?
His poster,
excuse 35.
me, my poster was on his wall.
Is that right?
Yeah.
To Chris's question, though, how old were you when Madonna hit big?
13?
Did you take him under your wing?
Yeah.
14?
Yeah, of course I took him under my wing. No, you know what was fun in Dallas was me and Toby Peterson were playing together in Dallas. We grew up together, playing together at Jefferson. And Mo actually babysat Toby Peterson.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love how Perry calls him
Wait a
Mo.
He babysat who?
Toby Peterson.
And he's your age?
Well, no, he's a little bit older than me. Just a little bit.
Because Madonna and I are the same age.
Right.
Yeah.
So this was
you got to remember, Mo came in when he was 18 years old.
I never thought about it like that. I could have babysat all you sons of bitches.
Yeah. You should babysit my dad.
Son of a... Yeah, but he likes to dress like a baby, wear a diaper. And
Well, and it did help I believe, that Toby had a cute female babysitter.
Yeah.
I believe that was... Might have been.
Yeah, I can't wait to
over there. Clapping, I guess.
The Charge Challenge after this on the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
Join me on Tuesday, December 10th at Carmine's in Woodbury for a Wild Watch party. Get there at 8:30 to watch your Wild in action and sign up for your chance to qualify for your first round playoff tickets next year. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Just make the keyword calendar.
Oh, good.
It's a good spot.
I can't wait. I've heard so many good things, and so if you're not doing anything, Kriesel,
might pop over.
Hop on over.
Charge is going to be there.
Charge. What's up, Playboy?
Charge.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. He's with the Lord now.
I have him dialed up correctly, I think.
My puzzle friend. I posted one night when I was home alone, just having cocktails and putting together a puzzle. Was like, life is wild these days.
Fan SBLD.
And then,
right?
Yeah.
You were in the weeds.
And then Charge texted me, goes, "You a puzzle guy?" And I responded, "F yes, I am." And now we've talked puzzles ever since.
Some of the neighbor gals are thinking about going to one of those puzzle tournaments. You can go to like a brewery.
I heard about these recently.
And then you can go jigsaw puzzle as a team and try to finish the puzzle first while you're sipping beer. Right.
And food, I think.
The neighborhood guys are not invited. It's just the ladies.
No, I just think you are.
I'm not in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm not a woman. Right, Hawk?
That's right. So, I'm barely a man.
I'm not a woman.
So, yeah, no invite. But I guess that's a new thing. People are doing that at breweries.
I heard about that.
Puzzle tournaments.
I like a good 1,000-piece.
Sure.
Quick rip through it.
I'm headed that way.
Nice way to just clear the mind.
Huh. Chargy, can you hear us? Chargy? Weird. Hey, Zach, you can look for me, but I'm pretty sure.
Hello.
Hey, Charge.
Hey, all right. Hey, okay.
All right.
All right, Charge.
You had to take the zipper mask and ball gag off.
Oh, jeez.
No echoes?
No echoes. Okay. I'm happy to say. Thank you.
All right,
buddy. We're in a
buddy.
great spot right now.
Hell yeah. How the hell are you, brother?
Well, better than I'm going to be on Sunday.
Yes.
Why's that?
Sunday's going to be a long day for me.
Yeah, you're going to get killed on Twitter.
I am going to get murdered on Twitter because Kirk is sitting on a bad game that he may not even finish. And there are going to be people that are just going to roast me.
I forgot who it was. I think it was somebody was on with Barrero yesterday, and they were talking about that exact same situation, Church. It would be ruthless of the Falcons to bench him in Minnesota.
I don't think they'll do that.
Unless he gets hurt.
Yeah, of course.
Or
it's 40 points or something.
Something.
Right.
Well, okay, but yes, it would be cruel to a guy who I'm sure they all like, because who doesn't like Kirk Cousins as a person? But the other part of it is they don't have any wiggle room. I mean, if it comes down to winning and losing, they need every win. They're a 500 team clinging to first place in their division.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
and this is the burden you have when you take a quarterback 8th overall.
Yeah, no kid. There's burden at first overall. That's that's a head coach killer, taking a quarterback first overall. So yeah, there's it's Sunday's going to be a tough day. I might be one of those days where on Twitter where I'm tweeting about games, but I am not looking at notifications. That might be the angle right there.
Where is the Friday football feast today, Charge?
Savage, Minnesota.
Ooh. Great,
Savage B-Dubs.
Great town.
It is a great town. And that B-Dub, they, as a general rule, they start rocking that B-Dubs around 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's pretty warm in there, if you know what I mean.
Which you'd expect in a town called Savage.
Savage, that's right. Maybe Muss will make an appearance. I think Muss lives like 1 mile from that Buffalo Wild.
I think he's already there.
Catch a ride.
Catch a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where he might just have been there drinking at 9 o'clock in the morning anyway, and then just been surprised that you guys are broadcasting.
We just happened to show up.
Who knew the feast was here?
Yep.
Where are these people in my bar?
Charge, we only have 2 weeks to go in the Fantasy Charge Challenge. 13 weeks down, 2 to go. Here are the standings with 2 weeks left. I am in first with 217 points. Mark Parrish won last week with Brian Thomas Jr. Mark, you had 14 last week.
Nice job.
Yeah. You're up to 176. You are 1 point ahead of Meat Sauce Paul Lambert, who has 175.
Aye.
John Kriesel, you're at 159, and that's with a 1. You got 1 point out of Cooper Kupp.
Oh.
1.
I mean,
how is it only one? Didn't he have like 4 catches for 40 yards?
It was 17 yards.
That was it.
Just,
yeah. Awful.
Zach had Malik Neighbors and got 7, so gained a little bit on Kriesel. Zach has 145, so you would be the loser if the season ended right now, Zachary, because even though you are ahead of the Ghost by 5, because Chris has 140, somebody has to lose. So right now, Zach would be the loser. You are 14 points behind John Kriesel, and you are 30 points behind Sauce. So it's kind of a 2-person race unless this week gets crazy.
Good thing it's not
last week's goal was a bunch of players, a couple of whom would probably have duds, and so your goal was to avoid the dud. That is not the case this week.
Yes.
These are all great players in great spots, and all you have to do is try to find the guy that's going to be the best out of this group.
Okay, cool. Fire away.
Let's rock.
These are all running backs, elite runners in terrific situations. They were all ranked inside my top 9 or so. And then I also had like Josh Jacob. I had the 3 running backs that went last night. But so these are all guys that I absolutely love. We begin with Miami running back Devon Achane hosting the Jets. Among runners, Achane has the second most targets, the second most receptions, the second most receiving yards, and the most receiving touchdowns. Because the Jets cornerbacks are so good, some teams run the ball copiously on them. 6 different opposing backs have topped 20 rushing attempts. Next, Tampa Bay running back Bucky Irving is hosting Las Vegas. Last week, Irving separated himself from the Tampa Bay committee with a whopping 25 carries, 152 rushing yards, 3 catches for 33 receiving yards, and a touchdown. The Raiders' run defense has improved a lot lately. Since week 10, they're allowing just 3.3 yards per carry to opposing runners. Next is Atlanta running back Bijan Robinson at Minnesota. The Vikings are a very good run defense, but Bijan's also one of the best receiving backs in the league. He's coming off a monster game with 32 touches, 135 total yards, and a touchdown.
Oh.
Next, New Orleans running back Alvin Kamara is at the Giants. With Taysom Hill out, Kamara figures to get even more work, hopefully at the goal line, normally a place where Taysom Hill vultures him. In the last 3 games, the Giants have allowed 5 different running backs to score touchdowns.
Wow.
That is a wow moment right there. Next, Los Angeles Rams running back Kyron Williams hosting Buffalo. Buffalo is easier to run upon than pass, and 3 of the last 4 opponents have topped 114 rushing yards. Kyron's been a workhorse with at least 15 carries in 11 of 12 games this year. And lastly, Cincinnati running back Chase Brown at Dallas on Monday night. The beauty of Chase in the Bengals offense is he gets nearly 100% of the workload. He's scored in 6 of the last 8 games. The Cowboys have allowed the second most rushing touchdowns, although I'll note that no back has topped 32 rushing yards over the last 2 games against Dallas.
32 yards hasn't been topped?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep.
Achane, Irving, Robinson, Kamara, Williams, and Brown are the 6 options. 2 weeks to go in the Charge Challenge. Zach has the wheel, the digital wheel that he's about to spin that half the internet thinks is rigged. Against Chris Hockey, maybe specifically. Zach, spin the wheel.
Spin that bit.
It's you.
What?
It glitched.
Oh, it glitched and it's on me?
Yes, it's on.
Oh, man.
Must have been a glitch.
Wow. Feels rigged to me, too. Oh, man. Who do I want to just take off the board that has...
Put it on the board.
That team's terrible. That team's terrible. That team's terrible. I don't want to do that one. Let's go Alvin Kamara without Taysom Hill.
Damn it.
That's my number 1 choice for this week.
All right, that sounds good.
Biatch. Rigged.
That's rigged. Spin number 2 goes to... That looks like Hawk, maybe, if it holds. Chris, that's you.
What's happening to your wheel?
Yeah.
Hockey.
It's glitching a little bit, but Chris, you're second.
I'm going to go with that Williams guy from L.A.
Kyron Williams, my number 2 choice this week.
Boy, Hawk.
All right, Chris.
Good
Chris
for you.
goes
Good.
second.
It's just the connection between this and the TV. It's
Gotcha.
going smoothly.
It's the rainbow connection.
Okay. Pick number 3 goes.
Great.
To...
Oh, perfect.
Is that Sauce?
I'm gonna.
Pick 3 goes to Sauce.
I'll take, man.
You'll take a man.
Yep.
Wow.
Narrows it down to 4.
Welcome.
And take could mean anything.
Yep. I'll take, man, these are tough.
Just pick someone.
They are all tough. I will.
It's 9 to noon's about to start.
I'll take,
Take a man. Take a man.
Take a tough man.
George has to leave for the
man.
feast.
Take a trip to hell.
I'll take Devon Achane.
Your child's being born right now.
All right, he's taking Achane.
All right, my number 4 ranked running back this week.
Is that the name, Devon?
No.
Pick number.
That's the baby's name.
Pick number 4 goes to...
Unbelievable.
That looks like Mark Parrish. So we're down to the 2 guys that are fighting for last, or the 2 final picks. Parrish.
Oh, man. I'll take, I'm just going to I'll go home game. Irving.
Bucky Irving.
Bucky Irving is my number 5 ranked choice this week.
I like how everybody's staying away from Bijan because they don't want to cheer for him, but they might have to.
Yeah.
Kriesel and Zach. Pick 5 goes to... looks like Kriesel.
Congratulations,
John Kriesel.
Minnesota Vikings.
Yep, Kriesel.
I take Northland vodka. I mean,
boy.
I mean, I'm taking Bijan.
You're going to take Bijan against the Vikes.
Against the Vikes.
All right, my number 6 ranked option this week. That leaves Chase Brown.
Which is ironic.
I mean, Zacho, you do get a running back, like George said, that gets all of the carries, against Zimmer's defense. I know Zimmer's defense is apparently the last couple of weeks
it as The Simpsons.
done a pretty good job. But yeah, how about that? Monday night is the Simpsons night on Disney Plus or whatever.
That is this week. I like that. That's
Bengals and Cowboys. That's the only way to watch. Who wants to watch that trash unless it's Simpson-fied or whatever it's going to be called? What is it? Simpson Vision or something?
Simpson, yeah.
Who cares? It's going to be sweet. Charge, before we let you go, for months and months and months, we were like, when is there going to be a good video game out? The reviews on Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, so far, pretty positive.
Yeah, they have been pretty positive. It's a puzzle game, an adventure puzzle game. It's not a shooter. And so you get to, it feels more like a narrative from the movies. And I like that part of it. And I guess I wouldn't want Indiana Jones in any other way. I don't think we've had Indiana Jones on and off before, that has been done as video games, and they've mostly been terrible. This one is pretty good. You get some action, you get some puzzles, you get a lot of good things in it. And the reviews have been very good. It's averaging right around an 8.5 out of 10. And so, in a fall holiday season that we have seen some just epic flops and some really disappointing games, this new Indiana Jones, it's called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, is one of them that looks like you can safely give that as a holiday gift and not have to worry about, it being a bad game or something that somebody doesn't want to play. Because I think everybody wants to play as Indiana Jones, right?
Yeah, and I think it's cool that, a lot of people are comparing this game already to Tomb Raider. And it's just, it's about time that finally like a main character is like a good looking white guy.
Yeah.
That's
it's like, do we need all these busty hotties to be video game characters? Give us a chance to be represented at least once.
Dude, you have no idea what you have wandered into right now inadvertently, because that is a major topic inside the video game industry.
Really?
What part of it?
Yes.
Busty hotties?
They have stopped making female characters attractive, busty, curvy, that they have gender neutralized all of the women in video games. And there are a lot of people that are very upset about that.
Like video game nerds?
Like video game nerds. Yep.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
I know.
Tough break.
Little did you know what you were walking into.
There's so many, child video game characters who see these hot, busty video game ladies that can't live up to those ideals. You got to think of that.
Right.
So there's that.
I mean,
like the Last of Us gal or something.
Right. It's like, most of us want Princess Peach to fill out that dress. You know what I'm saying?
Just me?
Just me?
Is there a Queen Peach?
Whoa.
No, she's kind of the queen. She's the princess. She's the top.
You can be anything.
Well, there is. If she's not the queen, that means there is a queen. Otherwise, the princess would become the queen.
Well, but
right?
maybe in the Mushroom Kingdom, princess is the highest rank you can achieve. Who knows? Because there has never been a queen. She seems to rule the Mushroom Kingdom. She's the leader.
Yeah.
Let me show
it's
you
hers.
Relax. Take
Fair
a deep
point.
breath.
Thanks,
We'll talk to y'all next week for the exciting conclusion of the Charge Challenge.
Thank you, Charge.
All right,
Bye, everybody.
Savage Buffalo Wild Wings, 9 to noon today. The
Say hi to
Friday
Muss.
football feast with PA in charge and like dozens of other football fans.
Muss.
Probably Muss. I believe Mike Modano about 7:30, 7:40-ish range, somewhere in that.
We'll find out.
Somewhere in that range, Zachary. Marnie should be here in a little bit. One more segment with you, Johnny K.
Yes, sir.
All right. Chris will walk us through the news. More with Mark Parrish and the rest of the Power Trip Morning Show after this.